We're rolling?
Yep, we're going to get started. What's up, guys? Back with another episode of Huddle podcast. And today, my guest is JT Sims.
Hello, guys.
Yesterday, we went through James 4, 7 through 13.
7 through 12.
7 through 12. And JT actually shared his testimony yesterday. I thought it was it was great. Probably one of the best testimonies that we've had.
Oh, stop it.
And if you want to, you can go talk a little bit about your testimony and how you got, like, what pulled you towards God. Just share a little bit about that if you like.
Yeah, so I was raised in a church family. I mean, my parents are Christians, grandparents Christians, dad's parents are missionaries, mom's parents, involved with the church very heavily. Anytime the church doors were open, I was there. So Sundays, Wednesdays, Sunday nights, whatever the occasion was. But I got baptized when I was 4. I was told that, I knew what was happening, and I probably did back then. But, I lived in sin for close to 16 years. I kind of did what I want to with God as a thought in the back of my head and not letting him control my life. So, going through middle school, started cussing and lusting and, doing all the things that growing teenagers do. And then going into high school, those things kind of got more and more prominent in my life because I was surrounding myself with, people that put that first in their life. So with that, the drinking and the drug use, and then leading into college, then I have my more freedom. I have time to do whatever because I'm not in school, and then football until whenever, and then I'm going right back home. I had time between classes or at night to do stuff. So that kind of just made it easier for me to engage in activities that I knew I wasn't supposed to. And then finally, this past summer, I was able to go to Nicaragua where I met his name is Gabriel. He kind of helped me. He opened up about the problems he had had, and they were kind of connected to me. Like I was dealing with the same thing, so he kind of opened my eyes to how he was able to get out of the sin that he was in. And then I got back, continued to live in sin, but now there was a thought in the back of my head, like I know I'm not supposed to do this. So it kind of planted a seed. And then I was able to go to Papua New Guinea to see some family that are missionaries, which is just north of Australia for those that don't know. And surrounding myself with Christians, and then seeing how people were so grateful for what they had in this third world country that, I took for granted every single day. So that really worked on me. And then I was able to come back, but I had planned for some kind of party that I attended, and, things didn't go one way, the way I thought they were going to. So one drink turned into however many, and then I had to wake up and go to church the next morning. And then, my parents, they had asked me, how much you drink last night, and I was like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? I don't drink. You know this. I'm a good kid. And they were like, we smell it on you. So I was like, oh, they know.
They know.
They know.
I know they know.
Yeah, so then I just broke down in the car, and I was like, this is what I've been dealing with, like relationship problems, having, just abusing alcohol and abusing this, and then, living a life full of sin for literally 16 years. And then finally, not coincidentally, this is God's work. My church was offering baptisms that night for a church get-together. I'd like to say, I don't really know what it was. Like, you couldn't ask me what was happening that day. I was hungover, terrible headache, but, the thing that really sat in the back of my mind, and what I told during my testimony yesterday was that, like, God says, come as you are, not as you want to be. So my friend Colin likes to say that you don't clean yourself before you get in the shower. You get in the shower to get clean. So that's kind of what it is. Like, you don't have to fix yourself to go to God. You go to God so he can help you fix yourself. Mm. So, yeah, July 27th, I got baptized, and then ever since then, it's been a rocky road. Nothing's perfect. We're not always perfect. We're gonna slip and fall sometimes. But for me to have the ability to lean on God more than I ever did before. It's just something super special. So yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I like the part where you were saying that you don't get in the shower to get clean. Well, you don't clean yourself before you get in the shower. You get in the shower to get clean. It takes me back to me and a few other of my teammates, Aiden Zay, Kirsten, Juliana, I think that might have been it, Shia. We went to FGA leadership camp this past summer, and we like take these kids to like Bible studies, and it's a fun weekend. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we go home on Sunday. It's super fun. And one of the scenes, like they did like this little like act, they acted something out. And one of the things they acted out was basically like carrying our luggage, like carrying our baggage to God, and God's trying to take the baggage, and we're like, no, let me just hold on to this one sin. And God's like, no, like you don't have to go and fix yourself up before you come to me. Like you said, come as you are, because God, He wants us. Like, I mean, I say it on here a lot. Like He wants those little conversations with us. Like, God, I just had the best 10 burger of my life. Like He wants to just know every little thing about us. But yeah, I mean that speaks a lot. Like, because like I'm like, you knew who I was, I knew who you were before God, and it's just like seeing how God works in His campus through like just different classes and how everybody is just. I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody, but it's moving a lot. There's a lot of people on our campus who are changing, like realizing like, hey, like this isn't the life I want to live anymore. And I think that like that speaks wonders. Like it'll be different. I know you were there, the FCA with the dude from Murray, and he was like how this kid was here in 2010.
Oh yeah, 10 to
2025.
Yeah,
like that's just crazy. Like, and you never know like who's gonna like follow in your steps. And it's not even like it's just great.
Yeah, dude, there has been so much like movement nowadays in K-Dub, but not only us, but like I feel like everywhere. You see Ohio State's doing it, and then Alabama's doing it, and
it's kind of funny you say that because that I'm not gonna say his name but one of Alabama receivers I played with in high school, and if you told me in high school like, hey, like what I'm doing now, like involved with campus ministries, and then you're like, yeah, and also this player here would be like leading this revival session in Alabama, I'll be like, no, you're crazy. Like both of us, like, no, we do stuff now like we would never be there. And just seeing that, like God working at all these different colleges, like, do you know like how hard it is to like change your ways once you're in college? Like how much freedom you have, and you're like just to give up that partying scene. Like when I was in high school, when I heard college, I was like, dude, party.
Let's lit.
Party. Like I was finna just party all the time. Like I'm going to class, but I'm just gonna party. Yeah, that's what it was. And like never would I ever thought like, dude, you're gonna go to college and your life's gonna change. Completely, yeah.
You don't got your parents with you. You don't got some guardians. You don't have people. You don't. It's a fresh. You have a clean start.
My dad's rule is if you live in this household, you're going to church. So when I first got to college, I was like, dude, I'm sleeping in on Sundays. I'm not going to church. Like, bro, like I'm not. Like, I didn't say I hated going to church, but it was like
you finally have the chance. Like, like you don't have to.
Saturday nights, dude, I'm out and I'm just like, bro, I can wake up at 9 in the morning. Like, I just want to sleep in. So that's what I did when I first got here. I sleep in. Like, and it's crazy. It was like, dude, you go to the 9, like, we mostly go to the 9 o'clock service.
And there's a lot of us.
Dude, yeah. It's like
there's probably
15, 16, maybe 20 of us there that go to they go to the service. And it's at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But like,
sometimes we go to 10:30 if we get sleepy.
But like, I mean, for the most part, man, like.
Most of us, we always go to 9, usually. Yeah. Unless we get back from a road trip.
And this is like what normally college students, like, they sleep in. Like, if you see them, they're dragging in last second in the 10 o'clock, like 10:30 service. But no, like, it's just crazy, like how, and it's not even like, yeah, it's most of it is football players, but we'll have some people who don't even play football who are like
baseball, volleyball.
Yeah, who just like, I just think that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, it definitely. You would have told me a year ago today that I was giving my testimony on a post FCA Huddle podcast, and I'm waking up for church at a decent time.
At 8,
I would tell you, you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, dude, you're on something, because that is not what I'm doing.
Not at all. Which is, power to God that He changed our ways, because Lord knows, God, it was bad, dude.
And before we start, I want to touch on one more thing that you said. when you say like you gave your life to God, and it's like it's not easy, but like you'll rather. Zay said it in our G group. He said, "I'd rather." He goes, "Either way, we're living in sin. If like we're not living in sin, but we're gonna sin, even if we're following God or we're not following God. But would you rather know that like okay, like how did he say this? That what?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what he said.
But I was like, dude, that's amazing. Like he was like, because he didn't say torment. That's not what he said. He was like,
should we call him?
should we?
We're gonna get Zay on the podcast.
I'm trying to think.
All right, we'll give him a second ring. If he doesn't answer, then so what? Zay, you are on the Post SCA Huddle podcast. Say hello.
What?
You're on the podcast right now. Say hello.
We're live?
We're live.
Dude, what is up?
So, AJ brought up what you said during the G group. What was it?
When you were talking about how living in God, like how living life is hard either way, living with God or not living with God. What was that? What did you say then when you say you don't agree with the statement that the road to heaven is hell and the road to hell is heaven? What did you say then?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, essentially, life, like you said, life is going to be hard no matter how you live your life. You're going to face suffering. You're going to face trials. You're going to go through things, whether you live for Jesus or you don't live for Jesus. So it was just kind of like a easy little, like kind of like a little joke that I threw out there. I was like, I mean, it's going to be hard regardless. And sometimes people say like, the life living for Jesus is hard, and it is, but I mean, life in general is hard. So I think no matter how we live, we're going to face trials. So you might as well live a life for Christ.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Zay.
See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah, man.
Is that a first? Is this a first calling?
First call.
Phone a friend?
First calling that we had.
Phone a friend. We had to though.
We had to.
It
was too good not to.
When he said it the first time, that is not how he said it the first time. When he said it the first time, like we were sitting there, like, wow.
Yeah, I was like,
This guy is prophetic.
yeah.
Is that the word? I think.
Poetic.
Oh, like a prophet.
Oh.
Prophetic. I don't think that's a word. I don't think that's a word. Oh my gosh. Cut that out. Next. Okay. Where were we at?
Yeah, we're just saying basically like how you said it. Either way you live your life, you're gonna live in suffering.
Might as well suffer with God.
Yeah, why not suffer with God than suffer by yourself?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's where we.
Like if you suffer with God, you still have
You have something to fall back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like fall back on, but like you have someone
some-
backing you up.
Yes. If you suffer by yourself, it's just like you're suffering, you're doing all this thing, and you're just gonna feel empty while you're doing it. So yeah. Well, yeah, had some good points. Your testimony was great.
I really appreciate it. That was my first testimony, and I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck.
Honestly, if you didn't tell me that before, I wouldn't. Like, you couldn't have told you were nervous on there.
Dude, I held up that paper. I remember holding it up like this because I was pointing, and I was like, I was shaking bad, dude.
I totally understand it though. My first time speaking in front of the team during camp when we did our KRs, dude, I was so nervous, bro.
Dude,
like,
I wish I had Aiden Houston's ability to public speak.
Dude, it's insane.
He's so good at
Like
it.
he said, his second time he spoke, he was like, "Dude, I have no notes." He said, "I'm just going up here and I'm just gonna like."
That's
said,
some Philip Anthony Mitchell
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying. He's like, "I know what I want to say." He said, "So I'm just gonna like go up there, say, and just elaborate off of it." And I was like, "Dude." I went up there with notes and I was still stuttering and I was jumping back and forth and I was like, "Golly, good for you." But all right, let's get into that word.
Get into that word. We in James 4:7-12.
Yes, sir.
Well, we were, so we are again.
And we'll go ahead and read it. If y'all don't, my Bible is NIV, so if it sounds weird, that's why. But so it says, verse 7: "Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. Brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. Anyone who speaks against a brother or a sister, or judges them, speaks against the law and judges it. When you judge the law, you are not keeping it, but sitting in judgment on it. There is only one lawgiver and judge, the one who is able to save and destroy. But you, who are you to judge your neighbor?" So yesterday we had Mr. Tony Schaus, who gave us our message, and I love when he speaks. He kind of like he's. So let me go back. So the first time I was ever on a KWC podcast was with Tony Schaus and Noah Davis. 2 years, it was either last year around this time or 2 years ago, and Tony Schaus spoke at Chapel, and it was me, Tony Schaus, and Noah on the podcast. And dude, Noah and Tony were just going back and forth, just spitting bar to bar, dude. And I'm just sitting there just spinning, and I'm just like, bro.
Right over your head.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here? I'll probably say like 2 lines during the entire podcast. We're running for like 45 minutes.
That's how I felt. My first podcast, it was what? It was you and Kirsten, and I was just like, I'm just here, guys. Don't mind me.
Yeah, it was crazy, yeah.
But that's a great thing. Like, I feel like these podcasts, you can see how people like are progressing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Definitely. And Aiden, he does the podcast, the Chapel podcast, and that's great because like he gets with the speaker and like just different people with different backgrounds. You're just on there, you're speaking with them. I think that's pretty cool. Like that's awesome. I love it a lot. Well, yeah, but the first thing that he said that I wrote down in my notes was we need to submit ourselves to God because He shows grace to the humble. And if we're not submitting yourself to God it's humbling because we're not humble people without God. We think that we can get through life ourselves, and that's not very humble. But once you lay down your sins, give God the things that you really love to do that are sinful, that's humble. And then He'll give you grace at that point. So once you lay all that stuff down for God, you really become humble, and you really, because you're basically at this point, you're saying, I can't do this by myself, I need help. And you're leaning on God, and that's very humble. People who can't do that, it's just like, it shows their, I mean, I hate to say it, but it shows their selfishness. I mean, we all have selfish tendencies, but saying that I can walk this life alone by myself and don't need anybody else, that's very selfish because I feel like nobody can do that. We have too much stuff going on that we can't walk life by ourselves.
No, it'd be impossible.
Very impossible. So that was one thing that he said that really, I got a few points on here that I was like, I really liked a lot. But that was the first one that he said, and I was like, dude, that's great.
I didn't get any notes because I was trying to, like, come down from my...
No, I understand that. When I get my testimony, I got done, and I was like, bro, like, I was sitting back
I couldn't think. I couldn't even see during it. I couldn't see the last 2 rows. I was so nervous. I'm being so serious.
No, I understand it because I got done, and I sat down, and I was like, dude, I got to take these notes because I got this podcast tomorrow. Dude, I wrote 1 line. And after that, I just couldn't write. Like, I don't know, dude. It's something about it.
I brought my study Bible today, so I have, like, low-key notes down here. So, but, like, nothing crazy.
This
one,
I've been using study Bibles all the time. I have one from FCA, and it's awesome. I use it when I do my quiet time. I use it.
Yeah, this one says for verse 7, it says, a truly humble person will give allegiance to God, obey His commands, and follow His leadership.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he also said right here where he says he will flee from you, talking about the devil will flee from you.
Mm-hmm.
What he said when Jesus walked the earth, as soon as Jesus was baptized, the devil was tempting him in nature. And the devil, he fled from Jesus because he was like, I'm going to wait for another time to catch him. Because just because the devil flees from you, that doesn't mean you won't be tempted again.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for you. He's waiting in that moment where you're slipping in your word, you're slacking, and it's going to be boom, here we go. He ain't been in his word. He ain't been following God. I'm going to get him now. But, again, that comes to the point where if we're humble and we give ourselves to God, yeah, we might slip. But at that point, prayer, talking to our peers who are also humble by following God will help us flee the devil again. Have the devil flee from us again.
Resist. It says resist literally means to take your stand against. So when you're resisting the devil, you're standing your ground and saying, look, I'm not falling into
standing on business.
I'm standing on business against you, Satan. It's like you're completely and utterly just like this is not happening. I'm not letting this happen. So
it's kind of like what you talked about. Yeah, you said a little bit yesterday in testimony. And I know you talked about you're going to go to a school and speak about it. Is walking that path of sin. You're not sinning, but you're teetering on that line of whether I'm gonna go do this and I might sin or I might not.
Yes, it was in Proverbs 4:14. Hold on, I'm almost there. It says 14 and 15. Do not enter the path of wicked and do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it, do not go on it, turn away from it and pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being able to kind of see it from a distance and be like, why would I even tempt myself to go in there?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like, so you know, when I first started my faith, I was thinking like, dude, I can go to parties and just not drink. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to party,
Bro.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to party. I used to tell myself all the time, dude, there's nothing wrong with going to a party.
Like,
Just
oh,
don't drink.
Jesus went to parties.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't drink, or just don't do this.
You know what I used to tell myself? Oh my gosh, looking back on this, like, oh, this guy is an idiot. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I can live in the world. I don't have to live of the world. Like in hindsight, like I was saying, like, you can be at parties, just don't give in to all the
That's what I'm
activity.
saying.
But like,
Bro, if you're sitting there, let's say we're sitting there, it's me and you at this party, we're just sitting there, we're just chilling, and there's 50 dudes there, and every person walked up to us, yo, try this, we're gonna say yes to somebody, no matter like,
Yes.
I feel like you're gonna say
not
yes,
anymore,
like,
not
anymore, but
because I'm not going to be at parties.
yeah, we won't, yeah, 'cause we're not gonna put
Back
ourselves in that
then,
scene.
yeah, for
But
sure.
my first on Facebook, I'm like, dude, I'm finna go to the party, bro, just chill, bro,
Just chill, just hang
dude,
out.
I just like hanging out with the boys. Like, they might be drunk, but I'm not gonna be drunk. But then it's like you're there and you're just itching. You're like, dude, because like all those memories just come back here. It's like, bro, like
Like, oh, I don't want to. You don't get FOMO.
you will. FOMO
Which
is
is-
real.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah. So
It's a terrible thing.
just stay away from that line of sin. And like I said, we're gonna sin. But like,
It's if you're allowing yourself to sin.
Yes.
If you're putting yourself in positions where you know you might even slip up, then there's no point in putting yourself in that position to begin with.
exactly.
Yep. Moving on.
And then he also
Oh,
said
never mind.
it becomes an issue when we start to think we're self-made and not God-made.
Mm.
And that when I thought about that, it took me to people. You know, I don't know if you've seen it, but people like play sports. They're like, I'm self-made. Like I got this out the mud. Like I did it to myself.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
You ain't doing nothing by
ain't do-
yourself.
You ain't do that by yourself.
The reason you're in the position you are now is because of God.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you might have done that work. You might have put that work in behind people's backs. You might have done this, but who gave you the ability to do the work? Think about it.
3 letters.
God.
Mm-hmm. You know it, and it's not YOU.
It. Yo.
Oh man, yeah. He went into detail with the first. So like, my Bible has kind of like 7 through 10, and then 11 through 13 is like paragraphs. Well, 11 through 12 is like paragraphs.
Yeah.
But 7 through 12 it was, and then he had another point. The only way to resist the devil is through God. Any other way, we will start to indulge the devil. So if you're, and it goes back to kind of like when I first, like in my testimony, like I went to FC Recharge, and after I went to FC Recharge, I'm like, dude, I'm done drinking. Like I just spent this weekend with a whole bunch of Christ-like people, and I was like, I'm done drinking. But that very next weekend, I found drinking again, and that was because I was trying to lean on myself. Like, dude, I'm just gonna stop. Like, I'm not gonna pray. I'm not gonna read my Bible. I'm not gonna go to church. I'm just done drinking, dude. It does not work.
Nope.
It doesn't. Because at that point, we're leaning on ourselves, and that the devil is stronger than us when we're by ourselves.
That's like the whole thing with how I went to Nicaragua and came back, and I was like, man, I'm a changed man. Like, I'm not gonna drink anymore. And I was telling people like, I'm not gonna drink anymore. But you know, maybe in a little bit, like a couple weeks or something, when I know that I can have, I can pace myself, or I can like control myself. I can control myself. It's just you're not gonna be able to control yourself. And if you can, more power to you. But
Yeah.
at the end, you're gonna fold.
Mm.
Without God helping you, you're gonna end up folding.
There's no I in God,
Nope.
but there's an I in the devil.
Did you just come up with that
Yeah, honestly, I just did.
on the spot? We're getting poetic today, not prophetic. Is it? I gotta see if
No.
prophetic's a word. Hey Siri, is prophetic a word? Yes, it's an adjective that traces back to the Greek word. I can't say that. Mean predicting. So I guess it's not prophetic. It's more poetic.
It might be. I don't know.
We're not predicting anything,
You were not. We're just speaking the word.
so we're poetic. Let's get poetic in this piece.
Let's get poetic. The verse that he goes on and says, "Come near to God, and He'll come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning, and your joy to gloom."
Dude, so I was reading this beforehand because, like I said, I was completely out of the loop when he was talking. Sorry, I literally could not. I literally couldn't. But it says, "Cleanse your hands." The Old Testament priests ceremonially would wash their hands, but that is an outward sign of cleanse. And then it says, "Purify your hearts," which is the internal cleansing. And one of my favorite verses, 2 verses, it's in Joel.
So,
Oh, here it is. I was looking at the wrong verse. What a silly me. That is my favorite. It says, "Even now, this is the Lord's declaration. Turn to me with all your heart, with fasting, weeping, and mourning. Tear your heart, not just your clothes, and return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, abounding in faithful love, and he relents from disaster." So it's kind of like a connection from the Old Testament to the New Testament with that. You can tear your clothes off and say, "Oh, like I believe in God," like all this and that. But if you're not having an internal change, then it's nothing. So him saying that, wash your hands and purify your heart. It's kind of a connection that I had that I would kind of want to just throw in there.
no, that is like I didn't. Honestly, you said that I didn't even think about that last night when he was reading it. Like how both of them are like cleansing, but one is like you said, cleansing like outwardly, like trying to, externally, like trying to fix your sin, and then cleansing inwardly, where it says cleansing your heart, which is more of like, okay, like let me make sure I'm doing this for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mr. Schaus was saying he referred to Adam and Eve here. He says when we fall victim to sin, we try to hide from God. When Adam and Eve, not the first sin, but the second sin, because the first sin somebody told me was Satan.
Yeah, the first sin
Was Satan.
was in heaven. Pride.
Yep, that's what the word was. Pride, having pride.
Was it pride?
It was pride.
Prideful?
Yeah, that's the
Look
word.
at that.
Prideful, yeah.
I learned that from Philip Anthony Mitchell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, that dude is a guy.
Yeah. I need to start watching some of his.
That's all I watch.
Yeah, people talk about. I need to start watching.
It's so good.
Well, yeah, but yeah, Adam and Eve, they sinned, and instead of them coming out to God, instead of drawing near to God, they hid from God.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't hide from God, because again, God's all knowing. He knows every little thing. You could think something and God knows it. Like, that's how like there's no hiding from God. So why it's kind of like growing up, how like our parents, I don't know if your parents, my parents, like they knew I did something and they come and ask me, "Hey, AJ, did you do this?" No. All right. Like, no, we know you did it. We're just asking to see if you're gonna lie about it.
That's the whole thing with my parents in the car after
Yeah.
in my testimony. My mama knows everything. Mama knows stuff that I didn't even know I knew. And I was the one that did it. And she gonna call me out. Come on now, mama. Thank you though. I needed it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Always for a good reason.
But yeah, it's like instead of trying to hide our sin from God and trying to tell ourselves that we didn't sin, just come out and come clean to God, because God knows already. God knows the sin when we're even thinking about should I do it or not. He knows if we're going to do it or not going to do it. So why not just go ahead and say, "Hey God, like I just sinned," and He will cleanse you. You can't cleanse yourself. Like as much as we want to do it, we can't cleanse ourselves.
Sorry, it got really hot in here. After I messed up on that verse, I started sweating.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's hot. Sorry, guys. Sorry, AJ.
No,
Proceed.
you're all good. We can't cleanse ourselves. But
Dude, I'm sweating. I can't.
dude, no, I don't blame you. I know the nervous sweats. I get those all the time. Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah, I get them all the time.
Literally.
But yeah, cleansing ourselves is nearly impossible. Without God, we'll never be truly cleansed. Because I want to say, I hope this isn't wrong. When we get baptized, that's the cleansing. That's the ultimate cleansing.
Yeah. I posted a video not too long ago about baptism. And I was like, the water doesn't save you. It's like a public profession, but it's like the cleansing. Like you were
You know,
saying,
they're saying you go down,
come up anew.
come up a new person. You go down someone, come up a new person.
Baptize you as my brother, sister.
In
Raise you to
Christ.
walk in a new
Yeah.
life.
Exactly.
Public profession. The
Yeah.
water does not save you guys.
It doesn't.
No.
There's the water. It's not a like.
It's not
It's not a bath,
not a bath.
but you're getting bathed.
That didn't make any sense.
Make any sense. No, but yeah,
It's
the
not-
water doesn't clean you, but the confession you're making is what cleans you. That
Mhm.
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Showing the world that you live for Christ. So you get baptized and continue to live a life of sin. Then one, that's not a good look.
Mhm.
That's why Christianity is low key frowned upon. You got all these people getting baptized because they're a changed person, but they continue to live a life of sin
Mhm. And that's kind of what Andrew what Andrew kind of talked about last week, where it was like, where he was like, when we get baptized and we say we're Christians, people watch us. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they want to see like, all right, if he's a Christian, how is he gonna, like, let's see his daily his daily walk, and that we're not tarnishing our name, tarnishing God's name. People would think, oh, I could be a Christian, go out and drink, oh, because he's doing it. But like, no, like, that's not how it's supposed to be. Like, when you get baptized, you're supposed to walk and try to be like Jesus, because Jesus was perfect, the only perfect man to walk the earth. We gotta try to imitate him. We talked, and we talked about like our FCA leadership thing.
Mhm.
Talked about yesterday was we have to try to imitate God. We use the word imitate because that means you won't be exactly like him, because it's impossible to be like God, but you're trying your best to walk like him. So people so you can say, well, I imitate God, so try to imitate how I follow God, because that's how Paul did. Paul, when he was preaching to the church in what church was it?
Ephesus.
Thessalonica, I want to say Thessalonica, something like that. That's what it's called. It's crazy. Yeah, Zay said yes, and I was like, where? Yeah.
What'd you say?
He was preaching Thessalonica. I think that's what it is. I think, but
That doesn't sound
and
right.
he told them, follow God how I follow God. He's like, yes, I know I used to persecute Christians, but that's not me anymore. And just coming out, JT with his testimony, coming out and telling people how he used to be, like saying that was before God, now with God, but God, he got into my life, affected my heart, and now this is my life now.
My pastor back at home, he calls it the holy butt.
It is
The holy butt.
the holy BUT.
I hope he sees this, because he says he's a super southern, so he's like, but you got to get that holy butt. It's like, but God, because like you can do anything. Like you might be down in the slums, but God, and it's like two words, super powerful.
Yeah,
Just
might be the most powerful words in the Bible.
but God.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Might be the most powerful words ever.
But God.
But God. Cause like
But then Jesus arose and freedom in
that one, yep. It was they killed Jesus on the cross, but God rose him from the dead 3 days later.
That's when death was arrested and my life began.
It's
Ooh, don't look at me on the mic.
kind of going back to 7 through 10. The way we avoid shame and guilt is through God, because without it, if we try to avoid it, we're sinners. We're naturally sinners. We're gonna go through that shame and that guilt, because again, we're trying to lean on ourselves. We don't try to lean on God, who rose somebody from the dead. That's insane. Like, people don't understand. Like, God rose somebody from the dead. How many people have you known that rise somebody from the dead? No one. One person's done it.
Hey, did you know that at the end of verse 8 where it says double-minded, that means sinners? Did you know that?
I don't know that.
I read that in this. It
I
says
don't know.
sinners because it goes back to James 1:8. It says double-minded as well. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy.
Connections.
I kind of like that double-minded, because how they say the Bible is a
Double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword. So a double-edged sword for double-minded people?
I got to process that one.
Because, like, if you're double-minded, I mean...
You're a
you
sinner.
Yeah, you got two minds. You got a mind of, like, maybe I can live for the world.
That's
Maybe I could live for the world.
double-minded,
But then you got a double-minded sword where it's, like...
double-edged.
Double-edged sword, yeah, my bad. Where it's, like, okay, yeah, now that you're living your life for the Lord, here's how you're supposed to do it. But if you don't, here's what can happen if you don't.
And nobody can be halfway in and halfway out.
We talked about it last week. If you're Landon, he had a great when he said this to me, I was like, dude, that's insane. So you know how they're saying where like people like, well, I'm on the fence where like I have one foot in the world and 1 foot on the world. He told me 1 foot in God and 1 foot in the world. He told me a story where he was like, you're on that fence. He goes, there's this dude, he's on the fence. One side is the devil, other side is God. And God tells him, choose whose side you're going to be on. And this dude's like, I don't know what side I'm going to be on yet. He said, give me some time. He falls asleep on the fence. He wakes up in hell. He goes, I didn't choose a side. The devil looked at him and said, I own the fence. I was like, oh, man.
When did he say that to you?
Yes, last week in the podcast.
Golly.
And I was like, oh. Like, that's true.
That's hard.
Yeah, I was like, man. I was like, he said it. I just sat here in silence for a little bit. I was like, bro, so you might have just cooked something up. I said, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. I was like, dude, that's insane. I never thought of it like that.
I own the fence.
I own the fence.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Landon.
Applause to you, Landon.
Golly. Hey, his testimony was powerful.
It was.
It was so good.
It was. I didn't. And if you like, and if you just see him around, he doesn't even seem like he went through all that. Like he just seems like he's too. Like I sat down and talked to him before, and I couldn't tell you that he went through any of that.
Yeah, I have him. He's in my math class, and I mean, dude's a chiller.
He is. He rides a skateboard. That tells you all you need to know. Bro's really chill.
Bro's a chiller.
He rides a skateboard.
And utter chiller.
Yeah, but to get to my last point, it goes through verses 11 and 12. Brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. Anyone who speaks against a brother or sister or judges them speaks against the law and judges it. When you judge the law, you are not keeping it, but sitting in judgment on it. There is only one lawgiver and judge, the one who is able to save and destroy. But you, who are you to judge your neighbor? And what he said was, we have no room to talk or judge anyone because we are no better than the person we are judging. And I talked to somebody about this, and I was like, hey, no matter what, is it sin? Like, is sin? He was like, yeah. He goes, that's true. He goes, but there's also depths to it. He goes, there's 3 different ways you can sin. Well, there's 3 different sins. So he told me this story. He goes, you go to this place to go out. I don't know. Let's say you go out to go camping, and you walk up to this place, and you've always been there, but there's a sign that says no trespassing. You don't see it, but you go. You pass the line. You're trespassing. But you see the sign. Okay, I'm not supposed to be here, so you leave. That's one sin. You sinned. You didn't know, but then when you find out you sinned, you stopped doing it. Second one is, you saw the trespassing sign. You're like, let me see. Is there anybody around? No, I'm going. I sinned. I knew I was sinning, but I did it anyways. And then 3, yo, JT, hey, there's this place over here where we can go and chill. It says no trespassing sign, but bro, just forget about that. Oh, you said, oh, okay, I'll go with you. I sinned, and I brought my brother to sin with me. That's 3 different sins. It's you did it yourself and you didn't know, so you fixed it. You knew you were sinning, but you still did it. And then I sinned, and I brought somebody else to sin with me. Like, sin might be sin, but you should always. I don't know where I was going.
There's levels to it on earth.
Yeah. But in the eyes of God, if you sin
is sin in the eyes of God, no matter if it's the smallest sin or the biggest sin. But on earth, morally, sin has levels.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm stealing a pencil, that's a sin because I stole something.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get if I do get caught, you just get the pencil back.
You know what I'm saying?
But if I go and murder somebody, then I'm gonna go to prison for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
Like there's levels of sin on earth, but in the eyes of God, sin is sin. Like no matter what you do. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's.
But I was reading, the study Bible. I like to break it down verse by verse to see what we're talking about. It says, James does not forbid confronting those in sin, which is elsewhere commanded in Scripture in Matthew and Acts and 1 Corinthians, Colossians, Titus. Rather, he condemns careless, derogatory, critical, slanderous accusations against others. So like, you can kind of call out in a sense. Like you see one of your brothers in Christ sinning, you're like, hey man, like chill on that, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like,
racist,
then it's like, oh, like check the plank in your own eye for the get the speck in the others.
Exactly. It's kind of like, let's say, and you got to know like the time and place too. Like, let's say me and JT, or I don't know, like we're hanging with some friends, and JT says something that's sinful, and I go, "Yo, JT, you're not supposed to be doing that. That's you sinning, man." And I'm saying it in front of everybody. That's embarrassing. Like, yeah, you're supposed to be calling them out, but like, bro, why are you gonna do that in front of all these people? Like, yeah, it's good to hold them accountable, but like, just pull them to the side, and be like, yo, JT, like, you're not supposed to be doing that, bro. Like, they're more fond to react better to that than you like yelling at them in front of everybody. Because then at that point, you're like, yeah, we know we're Christians. Like, we're gonna mess up. But like, bro, like, pull me to the side and say something.
It's kind of saying like I'm not good at that. Like, I've been trying to help one of my friends stop cussing, and I correct him in public. I'm like, yo, hey. And he goes, like, it's not like, hey, don't do that. Or blah, blah. It's just like, like he knows when I say, hey. So, I mean, I definitely can pull him.
I feel like that's different. Like,
yeah. But, sometimes
it
it gets to the point where I'm like, then I actually say something out loud when I should definitely pull him to the side. Because then it kind of makes people think, oh, this guy thinks he's better than us.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's another reason why people like how you talking about earlier, frown upon Christianity, because it's like people think that we think we're just better than everybody, but like that's not what it is at all. Like we're like you said, you're trying to help him. Like, and if you're just like hey, like, and he knows what that means, like, all right, that's cool. Like, I mean, it's not gonna. Like, I feel like that'd be weird. Like, let's say I told you, hey JT, you can hold me accountable if I do this, and you're like, yeah, if we're out and I do something, I do it, and you're just like, hey, like AJ, and I'm just like, oh yeah, my bad. And I know what you're talking about. And versus you like, now AJ, didn't you tell me you wanted me to correct you every time you did this? Well, you just did it. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And that can give off, like you were saying, that like kind of like the arrogant, like the pridefulness kind of. But yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. Like, I mean, I can work on it too. Like, I find myself doing that as well.
Everyone has stuff they got to work on. Whether it's internally or externally.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way you hold yourself, or like kind of how you're directing people or interacting with people, or whether it's how you, I don't know, how you're thinking, like your thought process on different things. Everyone has something they can work on. Nobody's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's the great thing about having God and Jesus, is that, we have somebody perfect that can guide us in the way that we need to be guided. Exactly. He's the shepherd and we're the sheep.
Mm-hmm. Come
on,
along, sheep.
Let's go, sheep.
Come along.
Bah.
Thank y'all for tuning in to Post Huddle Podcast. Again, I'm AJ.
I'm JT.
My man JT. I say it every week. Multiple ways to get tapped in here on KW at campus. I mean, JT was talking about. There's definitely a movement going on across the world.
We're on all platforms.
All platforms.
Instagram.
TikTok.
Aiden didn't know there was a TikTok.
He didn't?
No. YouTube. We're gonna get on Facebook soon too.
We're on Spotify.
We're on Spotify.
If you got Apple Podcast, we're on Apple Podcast. We're on all of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. If you just type in KWC Campus Ministries, it'll pop up.
Link in the description below. I've always wanted to do that.
But yeah, like I was saying, multiple ways to get tapped in, man. We got FCA Monday nights. We got prayer team. Tuesday night 7:07. FCA Mondays at 8:08. We got chapel on Wednesdays 12:12. We got G groups, RG groups Thursdays at noon. in the Cox Conference Center next to the CAF. If you didn't know, I know it's football, but like I guarantee you, if you ask one of us, hey, can I sit in? We will not mind.
We accept everybody.
We're not going to turn you away from learning about the Lord.
We're not sportists.
I didn't know what that meant for a second, but then I listened to it.
Connect the dots.
Yeah. And then, if you need help finding a home church, you can always let somebody know. We'll be glad to get you go somewhere. You can come to church with us. We're talking about at the beginning. Come to church with us. We got a lot of KW members who go to Pleasant Grove. So, yeah, I mean, all you got to do is ask, and we can point you in the right direction. We can get you tapped in somewhere. So, yeah, again, thank you for tuning in with me and JT. Hope you have a great rest of y'all's week, and we'll see y'all again next week, man.
Peace. Deuces.
Deuces.
And then Jesus arose with our freedom in hand. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace so free. Bruh.